Not to me. Shoot, we got to earn our money somehow, right? We can't wait till the end of their careers to say, hey, we got a new speak for yourself. No, we got to do this right now in the moment, whether we're right or whether we're wrong. Comparable talent. When I say that, I mean you have to add up all their measurables, what you've seen on film. I think it's in a conversation where they're comparable. But then I go to what you have to go to when you see these two competing forces is the physics, like the levers. 6'5", 221 that can run versus the little engine that could, which I respect fully, but golly, I've been on this Daniel Jones bandwagon trying to tell people, stop booing this dude. This dude is different. And you can start to see this. One thing that jumped out is this play right here. Eli Manning, in his life, would have never made that play. And he had 2 rushing touchdowns in this game on top of 2 passing touchdowns. So you can just already see how he's having an impact on his squad. But more of that, the comparison between him and Kyler Murray, simply, it's the levers. He's just a bigger, more talented guy who's going to be there for the longer haul.
I'm going to say it's too early to say. And I got to say that from a quarterback's perspective. Now, if you ask me this 4 or 5 weeks from now, then I can give you a more definitive answer. But the win yesterday, overcoming the 18-point deficit, was very impressive. It was very impressive. But, you know, Kyler Murray has done some things that I thought, you know, I think has been really, really good. But Daniel Jones has looked even more impressive. You know, Kyler's got more snaps, so he should be doing a lot more. But at the end of the day, Daniel Jones is going to play with a chip on his shoulder. He wasn't the number 1 pick. He was picked, what, number 10?
No, 6.
Number 6?
And booed.
But
and booed.
And booed. So that's going to play a part in how he approached the game. And he's always going to check on Kyler Murray and see what he's doing. He's always going to be in direct competition with him. And that's going to be something that he always try to do is prove that he should have been that number 1 pick. So it's a little too early to say. We'll see down the road.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, for the sake of television, and you're right, we got to go ahead and give an answer here.
Yeah.
If I had to pick right now, if you said, hey, you get to pick one of those 2 teams for your franchise, you got to take one, I'm taking Daniel Jones after that one game. Just because I want a taller guy. I want a guy that can sling that rock, who can run with his legs. He seems like an awfully smart guy, too. Eli protege, except Eli 2.0. Kyler, watching that game, and maybe it's because of the system and the way they're protecting him right now, but I think at the beginning he was, I saw, at one point, 14 of 16. So he's completing the ball, but it was like 81 yards. There's nothing really going over the top. And he did throw one over the top, but the guy dropped it. But still, those dinking and dunking, that's not going to win you football games in the NFL. And the little, you know, he's like a little Mighty Mouse running around there like a little flea. They can't catch him. I don't like that. It's just that, you know, that's going to be fun for a while, but that could catch up. Robert Griffin III has scarred me because one injury and the whole career could go a different direction when you got these running quarterbacks. I like this. This Daniel Jones, he's going to be in New York for a long time.
Look, Cliff Kingsbury at Texas Tech, the reason he got fired is because his offense worked great between the 20s. It had problems in the red zone. You go look at Arizona so far, they're not scoring points. And I think that offense, again, these NFL defensive coordinators couldn't wait to get a hold of Cliff Kingsbury's offense. It was great in college, but it didn't produce wins. It's not producing wins now. So that's another reason I think Daniel Jones is in a better situation with a more experienced group of NFL coaches. Look, I have a bias against quarterbacks under 6'3". You know, it is what it is. Look, there are exceptions. Russell Wilson, Drew Brees. There's always exceptions. But I like quarterbacks over 6'3". The thing that impressed me about Daniel Jones, you got to remember, Saquon Barkley went down with an ankle. Odell Beckham Jr. got traded this past offseason. He carried his team in a game where Jameis Winston and Tampa Bay did some great things and put up a lot of points. Daniel Jones was the best player on his offense and maybe the best Giant on the field yesterday. No Saquon Barkley, no OBJ anymore. That was very impressive for a young guy to put the team on his back.
And I love the fact that you said carried this team. It was an 18-point comeback. Think about this. He's 1-0 with 18-point comebacks. Guess what Eli is? Guess what Eli is in 18-point comebacks? 0-44. 0-44. In the same situation, Eli has never, and I talked about those individual plays and talking about 19-yard runs for touchdowns. Eli's never done that. And now Eli has never brought this team back from an 18-point deficit or greater. It's just different. And let's just be real. you keep talking about Kingsbury offense and the philosophy. The receiving core, Larry Fitzgerald's a Hall of Famer. But that shouldn't be what all you have. I mean, Christian Kirk's nice, good. He's putting up some numbers. Michael Crabtree, I'm just saying, for him to be the #1 overall pick with a questionable philosophy from you, with assets that are not supreme, it's going to be difficult for the kids. So, to your point, let's wait a little bit. But for television, I'm going.
Tony just said something when he said, "Look, if I had to pick a guy today, I would pick Daniel Jones." Instantly, I thought about, okay, who's his quarterback coach? Who's his coach? Like, who's coaching him right now? Pat Shermer's been around the league for a long time, been in a bunch of different systems, so he's teaching different from what Cliff Kingsbury is doing, and that could be the difference in how we determine who's the best guy moving forward. It's a different offense for Daniel Jones, different offense for Kyler Murray with Cliff Kingsbury, so that could be the telltale factor in the end.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
People don't understand when I say this. There are studies about the bias for people 6'2" and over. That they tend to be CEOs. They earn more money than people shorter than them. And this is my thing about, and particularly with Kyler Murray, because it's so pronounced. He looks as big as Doug Flutie to me.
My teammate,
and I know Doug Flutie is the exception and had some success. Great. But I just think it's hard to be a leader of big men when you're not.
Don't be honest. I wanted to be 6'5". 55 pounds. Like, I stopped at 6 feet, and I was like, what did you do to me? But, you know, you gotta use what you got, man. And to the point, if there's some truth to that, man, then look, I missed out on a lot.
Well, what would you? There's Muggsy Bowles, NBA.
How many championships he win?
Championships. Who's the guy that won the dunk contest? 5'7", Spud Webb. I'm just saying, when you're short, especially, it's hard, and I think that's probably why they do struggle when they get to the red zone. You can't see. Everything gets condensed and shorter down there. As a shorter guy, it's tough. So you're going to have to do a lot of that spread out, and you know that's coming as a defense. So it's a little bit easier to defend.
I'll be honest, man. It was times that I lost guys, lost receivers, lost defenders that I was supposed to look at in passing lanes being 6 feet. What's the point?
All right.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. And be sure to check out more of the best clips from Speak For Yourself, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.